Welcome back to Long Way Home, everyone. Today we are going to be upgrading the infotainment system, you could call it, on the good old 1200 GS. This will obviously also work on the 1250 GS or any other BMW bike that uses BMW's Navigator cradle. Get your motorbike news in a pleasant way. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Alright, so this is my current setup at the moment. I've got this RAM mount here. I've taken off the original BMW cradle, the Navigator cradle. So I just lock my phone in here, and considering that most of the time I travel where I've got internet signal, my phone is better than any Navigator or any other GPS on the market there. At least for me it is. Then I've got my little good luck horsey from my daughter. Then I've got a USB socket over here for charging the phone, and a separate normal socket next to it for pumping up the tires if I ever need to do that, because the plug that comes with the bike doesn't put out the required current that's needed for a compressor to work. So I had to put a separate socket on the bike. Here's the original Navigator 5 cradle that came with the bike. I've taken it off because, as I said, I've sold it, I don't use it anymore. I get a lot better service from apps that are real time. They're linked up to the internet, like Waze or Google Maps, or basically anything that's on a smartphone is a lot better than, for my needs, is a lot better than the Navigator. That's if you've got internet. If you don't have internet, this thing is amazing. If you ride on trails most of the time, if you don't have any access, or if you go to a country where you don't have a SIM card, so you have no data, then this is really good. But the plan for today is to make everything a lot cleaner on the bike. We're gonna take the RAM mount off, we're gonna put this cradle back on, and in this cradle we are gonna mount the phone holder that just came from China. Ah, that fresh Chinese smell. Let's see what's inside. We've got a USB cable that's both for iPhone and for Android. That's a nice touch. And it doesn't seem like one of those very cheap ones. That's good. We have the phone holder itself. Now, the nice thing about this is that the cradle gives off power, and this holder can get its power from the USB cradle, so no need to have a separate USB plug. Next up, we have a mount to mount this on the bike if you don't have the cradle. So if you don't have the original BMW cradle, you can still mount this on your bike using this. But if you don't have the cradle, I really don't see a reason for buying this, because there are a lot better phone holders out there. I mean, the RAM mount has done a wonderful job so far, and the only reason I'm replacing it is because this actually gives power. And here we have some screws to actually mount it to the bar. And lastly, we have a power cable, it seems. Okay, so this is to be used in case you, again, do not have this original Navigator cradle. If you do, all the power is gonna come from here. All right, let's see how this holder actually holds a phone, since that's what it's made for. This is quite a large phone. Seems to be quite secure. I don't know how well it's gonna hold if you drop your bike, if you crash it, because there's nothing holding it on this side of the cradle. So you can just slide it out, which with something like the RAM mount would be almost impossible to do. What I think will solve that issue is if you've got your phone covered in one of those silicone cases. If you've got a silicone case on your phone, there's no way it's gonna slide out of here, so it'll be secure. Alright, so action plan of the day: take the RAM mount off, figure out how to plug this one back in. It's got two connectors. From what I can see, one of them is not used, so I just need to find the place where this one goes, mount it back on the bike, then hook this new connector up, and Bob's your uncle. So let's get cracking. First, we're gonna take the good luck horsey off and give it a nice long wash. Next, we're gonna remove the RAM mount, which is pretty simple to do. To make our job easier, we're also going to remove the windshield, which is held in place by 4 T25 screws. The bike looks very weird without the windshield on. While the screen is off, we can take this time and clean some very hard to reach places. Next, we're going to mount the original Navigator cradle on, which is held in place by 4 different screws. Don't tighten them too much, so you can move it a little bit, just in case your phone is not at the correct position when you're sitting on the bike. Next, we'll feed the cradle's connectors to the connector on the wiring harness. The new phone holder connects to the BMW cradle just like a Navigator unit would. Just slide and click. Seems very sturdy. Let's connect the USB cable that came with the kit, turn the ignition on and test out the system. Locking the original cradle with your bike key makes sure that this phone holder is going nowhere. Once that's done, you now have a very sturdy phone holder and 2 extra USB ports. And all of that power comes straight from the bike's factory CAN bus system. Now sliding the phone in is a very simple one-hand operation, and that's not going anywhere. Alright, now out of the box, this phone holder comes with a little rubber protector for the USB ports. Now, this is the only gripe that I have at the moment with this, and that is the moment I plug something in and I take one out, the whole protector comes off, which means that it's very easily gonna get lost, and the moment it gets lost, I have no idea what else you're gonna put in here, because if water gets in, this whole system is useless. So obviously just installing it now, I have no idea if this is good quality or not, so I'm gonna give myself about 2 weeks to test it, and we'll see how it stands up to everyday wear and tear. If you do decide to order it from China, it's around half of the price that you'll find it on Amazon, but then again, it's gonna take about a month to get shipped from China to anywhere, probably, wherever you are. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing. You can also become a Patreon to help us make more of these videos. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.